Something is shifting in your life right now, even if you cannot see it yet. There are moments when heaven begins to move in ways that are invisible to the human eye, and this may be one of those moments for you. You may feel tired from the waiting, discouraged from the delays, and uncertain about what comes next. But deep down in your spirit, there is a quiet sense that change is coming. I want you to listen carefully today, because this message is not sluchanai. It is not just another speech. It is a reminder that God has not forgotten you, and He has not abandoned your dreams. The struggles you have faced, the prayers you have prayed, and the tears you have cried have all been seen by God. Every moment of patience, every act of faith, and every step forward, even when it was difficult, has been preparing you for something greater. You may be standing in a season that feels confusing, a season where doors have closed and answers seem delayed. But what if this season is not the end of your story? What if this is the very moment before everything changes? What if God is about to step into your situation and flip your life completely? Get ready to hear this with faith in your heart, because your turnaround may be closer than you think. There are seasons in life when it feels like everything has gone quiet. You pray, you hope, you work hard, and yet nothing seems to move. Doors stay closed, answers seem delayed, and the future feels uncertain. In those moments, it is easy to assume that God has forgotten you, or that your efforts are being wasted. But I want you to understand something today. God often does His greatest work in the silence. When you cannot see progress, heaven is still in motion. When you feel stuck, God is still preparing you. You see, preparation rarely feels exciting. It feels slow. It feels like waiting in a place you never planned to stay. But God uses those quiet seasons to shape your character, strengthen your faith, and teach you lessons you could never learn in comfort. He is building endurance inside you. He is teaching you patience. He is training you to trust Him not just when things are good, but when life is uncertain. Because the truth is, if God gave you everything you asked for before you were ready, the blessing could become a burden. Think about the times when nothing seemed to happen in your life. Those were not wasted days. Those were training days. God was working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, positioning people, and aligning opportunities that you could not yet see. While you were worrying, He was planning. While you were waiting, He was preparing. And while you were questioning, He was strengthening you for the very breakthrough you have been praying for. Sometimes God allows the silence because He wants your attention. He wants you to draw closer to Him. He wants you to rely on His wisdom instead of your own understanding. In the quiet, your faith becomes deeper. In the waiting, your trust becomes stronger. And in the uncertainty, your relationship with God becomes more real. The silence is not a sign that God is absent. It is a sign that God is working in ways that are too deep and too detailed for you to see right now. You may feel like your progress has been delayed, but delay does not mean denial. God's timing is always intentional. He sees the full picture of your life, the opportunities ahead, the challenges you will face, and the strength you will need to succeed. So He prepares you step by step, moment by moment, until the day arrives when everything changes. And when that moment comes, you will look back and realize that the waiting was necessary, the silence was purposeful, and the preparation was worth it. So do not lose heart in the quiet season. Do not give up when nothing seems to move. Stay faithful, stay patient, and keep trusting God even when you cannot see the results. Because right now, in this very moment, God is preparing you for a breakthrough that will change everything. There are times in life when change feels impossible. You look at your situation and everything appears stuck in the same place. Same struggles, same disappointments, same unanswered prayers. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and you begin to wonder if anything will ever be different. But I want to remind you of something that can transform the way you see your future. Sudden change is God's specialty. God does not need a long time to turn your life around. He is not limited by your circumstances, your past mistakes, or the opinions of others. When God decides to move, He can accomplish in a single moment what would normally take years to happen. One opportunity can open a door you never expected. One conversation can lead to a breakthrough you have been praying for. One decision can shift the direction of your entire life. That is the power of God at work. You may be thinking right now, but my situation looks too difficult. The obstacles are too big. The problems are too complicated. Yet history has shown again and again that God specializes in situations that seem impossible. He steps in when resources are gone. He makes a way when there is no clear path. He brings hope when everything feels hopeless. And He does it in ways that surprise everyone around you. Sometimes we expect change to happen slowly, step by step, and often it does. But there are also moments when God moves suddenly, without warning, without delay, and without limitation. A season of struggle can be followed by a season of favor overnight. A closed door can become an open opportunity in an instant. The very thing you thought would never change can shift faster than you imagined. That is why you must never lose hope, even when the situation feels stagnant. The challenge for many people is not believing that God can change things, but believing that He can change them quickly. We become so used to waiting that we stop expecting miracles. We adjust to disappointment. We lower our expectations. But faith requires you to stay ready, to stay hopeful, and to stay alert, because you never know when God will decide that it is time for your breakthrough. Right now, behind the scenes, God may be arranging details you cannot see. He may be preparing people who will support you, opportunities that will bless you, and solutions that will solve problems you have carried for years. You may not notice it yet, but the pieces are coming together. The moment is approaching. The shift is getting closer. So do not measure your future by your present circumstances. Do not assume that tomorrow will look exactly like today. Keep praying, keep believing, and keep trusting God's timing. Because when God decides to act, everything can change in an instant, and your life can turn around faster than you ever thought possible. Sometimes when you are in the middle of a struggle, it is hard to see any purpose in it. You wake up carrying burdens you never asked for, facing challenges you never planned, and walking through seasons that test your strength and your faith. You may ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Or, what did I do to deserve this? Those questions are honest, and they come from a place of pain. But I want you to understand something that can change the way you see your situation. Your current struggle is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your testimony. Every difficulty you face is shaping something inside you. Every disappointment is teaching you resilience. Every obstacle is building strength you did not know you had. God does not waste pain. He does not allow hardship without a purpose. Even when life feels unfair, even when circumstances seem overwhelming, God is working in ways that you cannot yet see. He is preparing you to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than you were before. Think about the moments when you felt like giving up, but kept going anyway. Those were defining moments. Those were the times when your faith grew deeper, when your character became stronger, and when your determination became unshakable. You may not have realized it at the time, but those struggles were building the foundation for the future God has planned for you. They were preparing you to handle blessings, responsibilities, and opportunities that require strength and maturity. One day, you will look back at this season of your life and see it differently. What feels like a setback now will become a story of perseverance. What feels like a burden now will become evidence of your strength. And what feels like pain now will become a testimony that encourages others who are walking through similar struggles. Your story will remind them that it is possible to endure hardship and still come out stronger on the other side. You see, testimonies are not created in comfort. They are born in difficulty. They are formed in moments of uncertainty, in seasons of waiting, and in times when faith is the only thing you have left to hold on to. When everything seems to be falling apart, that is often when God is putting the pieces together in a new and better way. He is turning your pain into purpose, your struggle into strength, and your trials into triumph. Do not underestimate the value of what you are going through right now. The challenges you face today are preparing you for the victories you will celebrate tomorrow. They are shaping the person you are becoming. They are building a story that will one day inspire others to keep believing, to keep hoping, and to keep trusting God, even in the hardest moments. So hold on to your faith, even when the road feels long and the answers seem distant. Trust that God sees every tear, hears every prayer, and understands every burden you carry. Because the struggle you are facing today is not meaningless. It is preparing the testimony that will one day change your life and touch the lives of many others. There are seasons in life when things begin to change in ways we did not expect. Relationships shift, opportunities disappear, routines get interrupted, and doors that once seemed secure suddenly close. In those moments, it can feel confusing and even painful. You may wonder why certain people walked away, why plans fell apart, or why situations you depended on no longer exist. But sometimes, before God brings new blessings into your life, He first removes what no longer belongs there. God sees the full picture of your future, and He knows what will help you grow and what will hold you back. There are influences, habits, and environments that may feel comfortable but are quietly limiting your progress. You may not recognize the danger or the distraction, but God does. Out of His love and protection, He begins to clear the path ahead of you. He starts to remove obstacles that could interfere with the purpose He has prepared for your life. This process is not always easy. Letting go of familiar things can feel like loss. Saying goodbye to certain relationships can feel heartbreaking. Watching opportunities disappear can feel like failure. But what feels like loss in the moment may actually be protection in disguise. God is not trying to harm you. He is trying to position you. He is creating space in your life for something better, something healthier, and something more aligned with your purpose. Sometimes we hold on to things because they feel safe, even when they are no longer good for us. We stay in situations that drain our energy, surround ourselves with negativity, or continue habits that slow our growth. We convince ourselves that change is too risky, that starting over is too difficult, or that we should settle for less than what God has planned. But God refuses to let you remain in a place that limits your future. He loves you too much to leave you stuck. When God begins to remove something from your life, trust that He is making room for something greater. A closed door often protects you from the wrong path. A broken connection can lead you to healthier relationships. A sudden change in direction can guide you toward opportunities you never imagined. What you see as an ending may actually be the beginning of a new chapter filled with growth, purpose, and unexpected blessings. It is important to remember that God's timing is always intentional. He does not remove things randomly. He acts with wisdom, with care, and with a plan that reaches far beyond what you can see right now. Even when the process feels uncomfortable, you can trust that He is guiding you toward a better future. He is preparing you for new responsibilities, new opportunities, and new levels of success that require a fresh start. So if something has recently left your life, do not rush to replace it. Do not assume that the change is a mistake. Instead, pause and trust that God is working on your behalf. Believe that He is clearing the path ahead of you, removing what is unnecessary, and preparing you for what is next. Because sometimes the greatest blessing God can give you is not what He adds to your life, but what He wisely takes away. There comes a moment in every person's life when the path ahead is not completely clear. You have prayed, you have waited, and you have done everything you know to do, yet the outcome is still uncertain. In that moment, you are faced with a choice. You can allow fear to control your decisions, or you can allow faith to guide your steps. And I want you to understand today that faith is the key that unlocks your next season. Faith does not mean you have all the answers. It does not mean you can see the entire journey laid out in front of you. Faith means you trust God even when the details are unknown. It means you keep moving forward even when the road feels unfamiliar. Faith is choosing to believe that God is working behind the scenes even when your circumstances suggest otherwise. It is the quiet confidence that your life is in His hands and that He will lead you exactly where you need to be. Many people wait until they see results before they believe. They say, "Once things improve, then I will have faith." But faith does not work that way. Faith comes first, and the results follow. Faith requires you to trust before you receive, to believe before you see, and to stand firm even when everything around you feels uncertain. It is not always easy, but it is always powerful. Because when you act in faith, you open the door for God to move in ways that you could never accomplish on your own. Think about the times when fear tried to stop you. Fear whispered that you were not ready, that you were not capable, or that you might fail. Fear told you to stay where you are, to avoid risk, and to settle for what feels safe. But faith speaks a different message. Faith reminds you that God is bigger than your fears. Faith tells you that your future is not determined by your doubts, but by your willingness to trust Him. Faith gives you the courage to take the next step even when you are unsure of what lies ahead. The truth is, your next season requires a new level of faith. The opportunities that are coming into your life will demand confidence, courage, and trust in God's guidance. The blessings you are about to receive will require you to believe that you are worthy of them and prepared to handle them. That is why God strengthens your faith before He releases your breakthrough. He wants you to be ready, not just to receive the blessing, but to sustain it. Right now, you may not see the full picture. You may not understand how everything will come together. But faith allows you to move forward with peace instead of worry, with hope instead of doubt, and with confidence instead of fear. It reminds you that God's promises are stronger than your circumstances, and that His plan is greater than your uncertainty. So hold on to your faith even when the journey feels long and the answers seem delayed. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward one step at a time. Because the moment you choose faith over fear is the moment you unlock the door to everything God has prepared for you. There are defining moments in life when everything begins to shift, sometimes quietly at first, and then all at once. You may not recognize it immediately, but suddenly the direction of your life starts to change. New opportunities appear, new strength rises within you, and doors that once seemed permanently closed begin to open. These are the moments when God steps into your situation and does what only He can do. And I believe with all my heart that many people are closer to that moment than they realize. You have been through seasons of waiting, seasons of struggle, and seasons of preparation. There were times when you felt discouraged, when progress seemed slow, and when the future felt uncertain. Yet through it all, God has been working quietly in the background. He has been strengthening your character, deepening your faith, and preparing you for the next chapter of your life. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. Every challenge has been part of the process that brought you to this point. Now there comes a time when preparation turns into transformation. The lessons you learn begin to produce results. The patience you develop begins to open new doors. The faith you held on to begins to bring unexpected blessings. This is the season when things start to move forward in ways you never imagined. What once felt impossible begins to feel within reach. What once felt distant begins to feel close. And what once felt uncertain begins to feel clear. You may still face obstacles along the way, but they will no longer have the power to stop you. Instead, they will remind you of how far you have come and how strong you have become. You will begin to see opportunities where you once saw limitations. You will begin to feel confidence where you once felt doubt, and you will begin to walk with a sense of purpose that carries you through every challenge. That is what happens when God begins to move in your life. It is important to stay ready for this moment. Preparation is not only about waiting, it is about believing that change is possible. It is about keeping your heart open, your mind focused, and your faith strong. When you stay ready, you can recognize the opportunities God places in front of you. You can step forward with courage instead of hesitation. You can embrace new beginnings instead of fearing them. Readiness allows you to move quickly when the moment arrives. Remember, transformation often happens suddenly. One day you are struggling to find direction, and the next day you are walking confidently into a new season. One day you feel stuck, and the next day you see possibilities everywhere. That is the nature of God's timing. When the right moment comes, change can happen faster than you ever expected. The breakthrough you have been praying for can arrive without warning and bring blessings beyond your imagination. So keep your faith strong, keep your heart hopeful, and keep your spirit prepared. Trust that God is guiding every step you take and that He is leading you toward a future filled with purpose and promise. Get ready, because your life is about to change in ways you never expected. So as you leave this moment and step back into your daily life, carry this truth with you. Your story is not finished, and your situation is not permanent. The same God who brought you this far is still working, still guiding, and still preparing the path ahead of you. Do not allow fear to silence your faith. Do not allow doubt to steal your hope. Stand firm, keep believing, and keep trusting God even when the path is unclear. Because suddenly, when the time is right, everything can change. Doors can open, opportunities can appear, blessings can overflow, and the life you once prayed for can become your reality. Stay ready, stay faithful, and stay expectant, because God is about to flip your life completely.